Hey guys, Tyler at Analytive.com, and today I have a super special podcast episode for you. Today, I'm actually giving you the audio from a recent webinar I conducted announcing a new ABM, account-based marketing product we have called XABM. So I'm very, very excited about this. I really break down the strategy of how we put together campaigns that target very specific accounts within companies and how we do that by reducing waste, right? So we're actually getting you more value with less waste. Anyways, I don't want to give away too many of the secrets. I want you to actually listen to the podcast. So with that, here we go. Hey guys, what's up? This is Tyler with Analytive, and today I'm so excited to talk to you about this topic. It's literally one of my favorite topics, and that's how to generate leads from the largest clients in your industry without wasting money on traditional marketing. So let me tell you a story about how this topic sort of came up. I work a lot in the B2B space. I work with business-to-business clients and in manufacturing and software development and a lot of industries where contracts are worth tens, hundreds of thousands, or millions of dollars. And I was at a client meeting. They invited me to sort of an all-hands meeting where they were discussing the state of the business. And at the break, I was talking with the manager of one of the divisions. And this division, we'd built them a website. We'd drawn a lot of search traffic, SEO traffic into them. We've done a little bit with paid ads. And generally, we've been very successful. We've built relationships and got them leads from influential clients. But in the hallway, he stopped me. We were chatting about the marketing and chatting about the direction we wanted to go with marketing. And we talked about sort of their dream clients. And their dream clients were anywhere that paid between $10,000 to $25,000 a month in ongoing services, right? Which meant, anywhere from $100,000 plus to, $500,000 in revenue over the year. For this particular company, they're in a small niche market. Those were their dream clients. And I was talking about how we were going to get more of those clients in their dream bargain. And he asked me just a very specific question. And it really got me thinking. And he said, the manager said, how will you get those leads paying $10,000 a month, right? How will you do that? We'd done that in search, but we had really done a broad spectrum, right? We'd said, okay, we want the people, anybody who comes with us, fill out the form, and then we'll sort of sort through them. But I realized that maybe there was a better way. And over the next couple months, really started thinking about the best way to actually generate those leads for them. And that's what I'm going to talk to you about today in this quick video. So first of all, who am I? So I have a phobia of marketing that doesn't work. My name is Tyler Brooks. I'm the founder of a company called Analytive. We specialize in demand generation and generating leads for companies in the business-to-business space, right? We have used all kinds of tools to do that in the past. We use Facebook ads, Google ads, search, salespeople, LinkedIn, email. We've used all of those, and we've gotten some great results. In fact, here are some screenshots of actual Google Analytics reports from some of our clients in niche industries that we've generated. Most of this is in, like, say, a 6-month to a 12-month window. Organic traffic, we've boosted it 53% for one client, 40% for another client there in the bottom right. Like, we know what we're doing, but as I was using these tools, I kept running into a problem, and that was what I just mentioned, that these new leads came in, but many were low quality, meaning that occasionally you'd get the diamond in the rough, you'd get the big name brand, the people that we really wanted to work with that would have the budget, the bandwidth, the ability to pay money, those dream clients. But by and large, we'd have to sort through a lot of the chaff in order to actually be able to generate those leads. And then as I started doing research in the industry, what I realized is that we aren't alone, right? This isn't something that this particular company was dealing with. In fact, I see it across all my B2B companies, and it's actually backed up with research. Forrester Research suggests that only 1% of leads that come into your average B2B company, right, convert to revenue. Now, our companies, from the work we done, were around 10 to 20%, but it was still really small. The point is that only a fraction of the total leads that actually came into a company will ever convert to revenue, right? And so I started sitting back and thinking, why isn't this working, right? Why aren't we getting the leads that we want to get? Why? And on top of that, then we'd have conflict sometimes between sales and marketing, because sales would say, well, we called all these leads, we reached out to them, we emailed them, whatever, they're not any good, right? And we're not generating as much revenue as we want. And we'd say, well, we're getting all these leads, we don't understand. And so I really spent time trying to figure out, why isn't this working for us and for our clients? Like, it's working okay, right? We're getting that 10% growth, but not the kind of growth that we really want. And the reason I truly believe is because we are fishing with a net, but we're trying to catch whales, right? To use a fishing analogy, we're out there, we're trying to catch the whales, the companies that can really pay money and that we can provide massive value to, but we're fishing with a net. We're just casting it out there and we're seeing, hey, who wants to come in? What leads can we generate? Right? What we need to do is we needed a spear, not a net. Right? If you're going to catch whales, you don't catch whales with a net, you catch them with a spear. Now, obviously, I'm not advocating for going out there and whaling, but for this analogy, holy cow, it's super, super, super important that we reach the right people. So we need to decide who those are and then go after them. Right? And what I realized is the tools that we were using, how we were using them, right? Facebook ads, Google ads, search, cold sales calls, LinkedIn advertising, like a lot of these, as we were using them, just weren't working. They weren't getting us the whales that we wanted. Like occasionally we'd get lucky and one would come in, but it was more luck than a systematic, repeatable, scalable process to actually get the clients that we need. What I realized is all of these things that I listed, right? Facebook ads, Google ads, search, these are all tools. But what our clients, what the businesses needed was a strategy. We needed a strategy to use these tools to get in front of the people who could actually make a difference in our business and in our clients' businesses. And as I started looking around the industry, I found this strategy, right? And this strategy is called account-based marketing, or ABM for short. So if I say ABM, you know what I'm talking about. It's account-based marketing, and it's the process of saying, how do we get those people who can have a measurable impact in our business to actually come talk to us? How do we reach those 100 people? We'll call them, say, like the Dream 100 or the Target 100 or the Ideal 100. How do we get them to have conversations with us? So let me give you a quick case study about how something like this works. And this company is actually called Phononic, right? And they build solid state cooling solutions. And you may or may not even know what that is. That's fine. But here's the important points about this company is they only have 100 potential customers in the whole world. Right? There is a very small group of people who would actually purchase their product or service, right? We're not selling shoes, we're not selling groceries, we're not selling something that everyone would be interested in, but there's a small, tiny niche market. And so they implemented an ABM campaign, right? They got software, they built ads, they built content to really focus on ABM, to drive account-based marketing within their organization. And look what one of the directors said. He said Phononic was then able to segment their content and messaging based on their known personas and specific verticals, guaranteeing that the right message was getting to the right stakeholders at the right part of their purchase decision. This fundamentally, right, the right message to the right stakeholder at the right part of their purchase decision is fundamental to ABM. That's what ABM is all about. Instead of just spamming everybody and saying, oh, buy, look at our ads, look at our content, we say, no, we need to get the right message to the right stakeholders in the right part of the purchase decision. Are you getting this? Are you getting how powerful something like this could be? Instead of just actually waiting on somebody to come to us and say, oh yeah, I need your product or service, we say, no, who is that person? What message do they need? And then what part of the purchase decision are they in? And then we go after them. So for this company, they implemented their ABM campaign. What happened? Well, in about 4 months, they generated $10 million in additional sales, right? $10 million in sales was attributed to ABM campaigns over just a 4-month period, right? And yes, it took some time to ramp up, but once they launched, $10 million in 4 months. And in fact, 100% of the deals won in the first half of 2018 were influenced by account-based marketing, 100%. That means all the deals, all right, all the deals that came in, are you getting, all the deals were influenced by account-based marketing. So here's what I ask of you guys today. If in the next few minutes I can show you why account-based marketing is the tool to get you the leads to see massive growth in the next 12 months, will you commit to having a conversation with me? Right? That's what I'm asking. If you watch through this, I'm going to talk to you about the 3 secrets of ABM that I truly believe. Will you at least have a conversation with me? That's all I'm asking. So let me give you a little more background on me. Like I said, I founded a company called Analytive. We're a team based in Fort Collins, Colorado, although we work with companies all over the globe, literally. to do this. We have generated leads for our clients from companies that you see on the right here: SpaceX, Sherwin-Williams, Verily, which belongs to Google, Bentley, Kohler, Raytheon, Boeing, 3M, Toyota, all of them. They've all, we've generated leads for them for our clients. Right. And today I'm going to show you a lot of how we do that and 3 of the secrets that go into account-based marketing. Okay. So let's dig in. What are the 3 secrets of account-based marketing? Okay, secret number 1, the money is in the minimum viable audience. We're going to talk about why a minimum viable audience, a small audience in the B2B space, is much better than a large audience. Secret number 2, how to use marketing to build relationships with key prospects. So long, the building relationships was focused only in the sales team. Right? The salespeople built relationships, but we can actually augment that. We can help them out, and we can do that through marketing. And finally, then, secret number 3, how to be everywhere to your prospect without having a massive budget, right? How to be everywhere to your prospect, but without having a massive budget. Cool. Okay, let's dig in. So secret number 1, the money is in the minimum viable audience. If you spent any time around startup businesses or in any of the lean methodology, there's this idea that came out called the lean startup, written by Eric Ries. I think it was released in, I think 2007 was when the book was first released. The idea of the minimum viable product, or MVP, as he talked about, was that you wanted the minimum product ready to go to market. Right? So we're taking this idea and we're borrowing it for marketing. And instead we're saying that we only want a small audience, that there are only a handful of people who are really going to make a dent in our industry, right? In our business. We want to work with those people. So we want to create a small audience made only of key accounts that allows deeper focus and attention. And this also then merges sales and marketing. Suddenly then sales and marketing are working to go after, to reach, to connect with, to have conversations with the same people. Right? That we're all working together in harmony. It's like an orchestra that's all in tune, right? Instead of marketing playing one tune and going out there and then sales playing another, we're all now working in harmony to reach the people. And here's what I see, especially in the small to mid-cap companies in the B2B space. So often, there's this risk where one client or a handful of clients generates a massive amount of revenue. Right? I have several clients that fall into this bucket right now, where they have one client that is 50% or more of their revenue. Right? This is a problem, and this is actually a major risk, right? Because relying too much on one account leaves a business vulnerable, right? Because if that client leaves, you lose 50% of your revenue. Or maybe it's less. Maybe it's only 10 or 20%, but that's still a massive, massive, massive part of your revenue. So account-based marketing actually allows you to target accounts similar to your best clients. So with account-based marketing, we go and we say, okay, who are those people that are the 50%, the 10%, the 20% of revenue? Who are the best clients? And how do we find more of those? All right. And we do that. We decide which clients we want to pursue. We say, okay, we find clients like this one, the 50% client. And then we say, who is like them? Let's list them directly by name and reach out to them. So if you think about this in like the dating world, when I first met my wife, she is amazing, but was just incredible. She was a doctor. She was super talented. And I said, I want to get to know this girl. Right? What so many of us do in our marketing is it's just like we're on Tinder, right? And we're just swiping right on any company, hoping that we get matched. And, we go on a few dates with them. It doesn't work out, right? I knew when I met my wife, like, oh my gosh, like I wanted to pursue her. So I took her skiing, I took her to dinner, we became friends, and eventually we started dating and then got married. But I was after her in particular. Like with our marketing, again, we're using that Tinder model where we're just swiping right on everybody that comes our way, hoping that we're going to close the deal. But instead, we need to say, who are the best clients, right? What are the best relationships, the best revenue, most profitable clients that we have? Let's go after them. Let's not do the Tinder thing. Let's find the people that we want and go after them. All right. So secret number 1, the money is in the minimum viable audience. So don't focus on getting massive, massive reach with your post. Focus on getting in front of the right people with your content and your marketing message. Make sense? Are you guys getting this? Like how powerful this is? Oh, I love talking about this. Okay. Secret number 2, how to use marketing to build key relationships with your prospect, right? So when you're building a relationship, there are 3 things that go into it, right? It's called, and I call it RTR to abbreviate. So the first one is respect. The people have to respect you. The second one is trust. People have to trust you. And the third one is rapport, that you actually have rapport with them. So let me break these down a little bit on how marketing can help build respect, trust, and rapport with your clients. Okay, so respect. This is simply you know what you're doing, right? So the first step before you can ever hope to develop a long-term relationship with a prospect on the professional level is you have to showcase, and you know, obviously, if you're in business, but you have to show your prospect that you actually know what you're doing. So how do you do that? You do that through content marketing, right? You get content in front of them, whether it's videos, it's white papers, email campaigns, ads, downloads, blog posts, whatever that is. And sometimes it's all of the above. It's not just one, it's many, many of these. Right? But you show that you're an expert, that you know the industry, that you can provide value. You build their respect. In the industry, you let them know that you are the expert. And by creating this type of content, especially this long form valuable content, not little like tweets and Facebook, little messages, but like actually long form valuable content, and then promote it to them. Then use Facebook, use LinkedIn, use ads, use your email list, get in front of them. But you are building respect, that they know what you're doing, that even if they just skim the content, the fact that you have a written guide that maybe is 100 pages or 50 pages or 20 pages shows that you know what you're doing. You want to build that respect. You know what you're doing. They respect you as a professional in your industry. Okay, so the next thing is trust. And the best way to build trust, right? The best way I build trust with my friends is that I spend time with them. I actually go out and I invite them over to dinner. Just yesterday, my wife and I had some of our friends over for dinner, friends that I trust very much, and I trust them because I've spent so much time with them. Again, I've gone camping, skiing, on adventures. We've traveled together. We've done all kinds of things. I trust them. I trust that they're not going to steal things from me because I've just spent time with them, and I build that relationship. Well, in marketing, it's the same thing. The more time you can spend with a brand, the more you trust it. And frequency builds trust. Right? Frequency builds trust. The ability of you to get your ads in front of people frequently, to get them in front of people often, so that everywhere they look, they're seeing you, that builds trust in your industry. Right? And you can do this by using the same tools I was ragging on a little bit earlier, but using them in a different way. Instead of going out there and targeting a generic audience in Facebook ads, instead we download the information from your CRM system and we reach the people who are exactly the right people to buy, that Dream 100 people. We're not trying to get the whole audience. We're not, using algorithms and anything to expand and figure out who might be the right client. We say, no, we want to go after a very specific group of people. The thing is, we want to be everywhere that they are. And I'm going to talk about this more a little bit later. Okay, finally, rapport. Are you actually making their lives better? And this is where you have to realize your prospects are very intelligent people, right? They're successful in their organization, in their business. They want things to make their life better. And in order for you to build rapport, the content that you're producing in front of them actually has to make their lives better. If all you're doing is selling your brand and be like, buy, 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 you're pimping your brand everywhere you go, that's not good. People are going to realize that you're in it for you, not for them. You actually want to be adding so much value, right? The thing I talk about when we do content marketing is people say, well, how good does my content need to be? Like, what makes great content? In the best world, right? In a dream world, the best content is something somebody would actually be willing to pay for. They would actually be willing to pay for. Are you building that type of content? If you're not, then you really need to look at your content marketing and say, okay, we actually need to be building something people are willing to pay for. Because people will know, are you in it for you or are you in it for them, right? And so one way to know, right, to sort of do an audit, like a self-audit, a self-assessment on this is to say, how do you know? Do you provide valuable content? Again, would someone actually be willing to pay for it? Do you highlight the benefits someone can get from your product or service? Meaning that it's not just like, oh, look at all the features, look at how neat this is, but how will it actually help them? Will it save money? Will it increase efficiency, lead to happier people, happier employees, fewer mistakes? Like, what is the benefit to them? Do you show that you actually care about them, right? And again, this means that not just spamming them all the time, but being very strategic and adding a lot of value through your marketing. And are you able to show both the good and the bad of the product service? Robert Cialdini is one of the great minds in psychology, and he talks about one of the best ways to build trust almost instantly is to start off with a weakness, right? To start off with a vulnerability. And so are you able to show both the good and the bad sides of your product or service? For us, we're a small company, right? We don't compete at the same level as many other companies. But what we can do is we are very nimble. We're very agile. We can do this for a fraction of the cost that a lot of the bigger companies can. For us, like that's our vulnerability, right? We are a small team and we can't scale infinitely. but we're really good at what we do. And so for you guys, with your product or service, are you showing both the good and the bad, right? Because by showing the bad, you can build that rapport and you could build that trust. And as you're doing this, as you're focused on this relationship building, what marketing is doing is it's helping to provide, to use a military term, right, air cover for your sales efforts. So your salespeople, they're out there, they're selling, they're making calls, they're following up on leads. Marketing is out there and they're working together. They're providing air cover. We're all on the same team. And here's the ultimate goal, right? You know you're winning with ABM when this happens. By the time the salesperson makes contact, respect, trust, and rapport have already been established with your company. And I think this is easy to miss. So many times rapport and respect and trust are built between the salesperson and the buyer. That's very important, and we never want to diminish that. But salespeople leave, right? That's actually a vulnerability to companies. So you also want to build respect, trust, and rapport with your brand, with your company. And yes, the salesperson as an individual, but by doing this marketing, by getting valuable content, by building respect, trust, and rapport with them, you are actually building value and building that connection, that relationship with your client in the ideal company. Are you getting how powerful this is and how you're actually helping your salespeople to actually like build the relationship by providing massive value and massive content to them? Okay, good. So that's secret number 2. So secret number 3, how to be everywhere to your prospect, right? And this is I love this. This is like ninja level ABM stuff. Because when we talk about this, a lot of times I'll get a pushback that says something like this, right? Cool, so you're telling me that I just need to create all this content and be everywhere, right? Okay, well that's easy, right? Build a brand, yay, super simple. Like people will push back and say, we don't have the money, we don't have the budget, we don't have the time, we don't have the resources, right? And you look at brands that maybe we think about as building a great brand, like Procter & Gamble spends $7 billion a year at least in marketing across their brands. I mean, they spend massive money on TV and radio. Most B2B companies can't afford to do that, right? They're not going to buy TV commercials, or at least massive TV commercials. They're not taking out ads in the Wall Street Journal. Right, they're not paying for shelf space, and maybe they buy a booth, but like a booth is already a big expense for them. So, but the fact is we don't need to do all this, right? So with ABM, we actually are able to surround the decision maker. So let me show you an example of what this might look like. And I love to draw, so I flowchart this out, right? So in the red, you have the account in the bottom right. So the account is the actual company. So let's just say that it's like Apple Computer as an example. So say that we wanted to reach somebody at Apple Computer. And we were wanting to reach all of their manufacturing department because we have a new metal that's going to go in the iPhone case, right? So we need to reach all the decision makers, all those engineers, those vice presidents, the people who look at budget, who look at durability, who look at quality assurance, who look at the manufacturing and engineering and design teams. We need to reach all those people. So what we do is we focus on a decision maker, right? So in this case, we've just picked one, even though you would do this with all the decision makers in a campaign. And that's the little green shape right there. Right, so yeah, your salespeople are in the blue. They're reaching out and they're trying to connect with them. Meanwhile, though, we are doing everything we can to surround this prospect. So when they open their email inbox, they see content that they've signed up for from us, right? We're not spamming them, but hopefully we've started to build a relationship. They get emails from us. When they open their LinkedIn, they see our ads. When they open Facebook, when they're on, New York Times or whatever their favorite news website is, they're seeing our display ads. We're offering them a white paper. We're offering them value. We're offering them training, talking about our product and how it's going to change the industry. Again, not from a sales perspective, but from a massive value add perspective, right? So that everywhere they look, they are seeing our brand, right? And here's the thing, you can be everywhere to your key prospects for a fraction of the cost to be everywhere to everyone, right? It's massively expensive to be everywhere to everyone, right? We're talking billions and billions and billions of dollars, right? You have to be literally running for like the president of the United States or be a massive company to do that. And even then, still, you don't reach everyone. Even during the height of, the craziest political season, there are a lot of people who don't really hear much about the news because they're in sort of their own little bubble. But what we want to do is we want to go after the people, those 100 people. And right, to go after 100 accounts, maybe a couple hundred people at most, that's super affordable. right? It's something that almost any business can do. The tools, the software is becoming more affordable. We can collect, email addresses. We can reach them with our right ads. We can integrate them with our CRM system. We can automate email processes. Like, to reach 100 people, even in competitive organizations, is suddenly very, very affordable in a way that it's never ever been before. Right. And on top of that, we don't even have to do digital. We can do direct mail. We can, there's just, oh my gosh, there's so much we can do. I get so excited talking about this. But are you getting this? So let me give you another analogy here. So everywhere the prospect looks, they see you. So this is a picture of, some of you who are sports fans may recognize that this is Rudy, right? One of the great movies of all time when it comes to football. Well, I grew up close to South Bend, Indiana. That's my home. That's where Notre Dame is. Growing up, Notre Dame was a big deal in my bubble. In the town where I was, Notre Dame was a big deal. People had Notre Dame bumper stickers and Notre Dame checkbooks, and there was Notre Dame Credit Union. And on Sundays, you did not go into South Bend on a Notre Dame football game. Like, it was just a massive deal in my neighborhood. But the thing was, as I got older and traveled around and moved out of the South Bend bubble, I realized that, people know Notre Dame, but it's not a massive deal. There's a handful of loyal fans in any given city, right, who are graduates of there, who had a child or a parent or somebody who graduated from there. But Notre Dame was only a big deal in my little bubble, and when I left that, it wasn't. So what we need to do, and what ABM allows us to do, is it allows us to break into our prospects' bubble, right? So they have their own little bubble, the things that they read, the things that they see. They have their favorite channels, whether it's YouTube or LinkedIn, where they spend time with your favorite websites and news articles that they read. They have a bubble. Right. And so what we do is we want to target them, and we want to break into their bubble, and we want to build a brand bubble around them, right? That unique prospect, so that everywhere they look at all points, they're seeing us, and we're adding value. We're adding value to their life. So when the salesperson calls, when they have that need that actually comes up, they are ready to go. They're ready to buy. They know about us. They're familiar with us, and they're ready to go. Right? But the cool thing about ABM is it's not just a bubble around one prospect, but we build bubbles around all of our prospects. Right? So we make the list. We determine who are those people who we actually want to target, who we want to engage with. And then we build bubbles around all of them, so that as they go about their day, and as they're, looking online, they're doing all the things that they do throughout their day. They're seeing our brand, they're engaging with us, they see our content. This is where it gets really powerful. Right? We don't need to reach the ocean. We just need to reach those few people and surround them with bubbles of our content. And this also, by the way, allows us to reach the people we want without waste. Right? We're massively reducing the amount of waste, the amount of ad spend that we actually put into this, because we reach the people who are the decision makers, who we actually want to influence. So suddenly it's not about having, a 10 grand a month display budget to reach 100 people. It's about having maybe 1,000, couple thousand at most. And those people are seeing our ads then everywhere, right? They see them everywhere. And we do that for a fraction of the cost. And everybody wants to know, okay, so how do we do these, right? Well, we can do targeting. We can target by industry, email, company, and job title. Between these 4 factors, we can do deep targeting and reach almost anyone at any level of an organization across the platforms. And the trick is not to just do this on one platform. It's not to just target people on Facebook, but it's to go everywhere people are, in display, in LinkedIn, in Facebook, in any kind of social media, direct mail, so things are showing up at their office. We are doing all of this at the same time. The goal is that we're reaching these clients, right? These clients that are in that 55% revenue bubble, or that actually produce massive revenue for you and your customer. So here's the secret. With ABM, we define who we want to reach before we even start marketing. Right? Before we even write our first piece of ad copy, or show our first display ad, or make our first social media post, or whatever, we define who we want to reach before we even start. So let me ask you a question, right? If you did this, if you give me a call, we put together a proposal for you, you step into ABM, if all you received was the opportunity to get your brand in front of key decision makers with frequency, right? Everywhere they look, they're seeing you. Wouldn't that be worth it? Right? If all you received was a unification of sales and marketing, suddenly, instead of pulling in opposite directions, your sales team and your marketing team are pulling in the same direction. They're working together, right? Wouldn't that be worth it in and of itself? right? Suddenly, if you receive unique content to drive leads in your industry, right? Those lead magnets, that bait, right? To use the fishing example, the great bait that's going to catch those whales in your industry. Wouldn't that be worth it, right? And a full revamp of all your current paid marketing channels, including eliminating a lot of the waste that's happening. All those ads that you're spending money on right now with, general targeting in place. What if we just revamped all of that and just saved you money, right? Saved you money by reducing that ad spend and instead of focusing that ad spend on the people who could actually make decisions. Wouldn't that be worth it? Would that literally revolutionize your marketing? I think it would, right? I mean, we use this strategy within our own company. This is the strategy that we use. Yes, we have access to all the tools. We have access to all the technology that we can use, but we're drinking our own Kool-Aid and we're actually going after the people who are influential decision makers within our industry. So how many of the right type of customers would it take to double your business in 2019? Sure, you can do the Facebook ads, you can do the SEO, you can do email marketing in the traditional way. Right? You can do that. But the problem is it's going to give you that 5%, 10% growth, even in a good economy. But how many of the right type of customers that you reach using ABM would it actually take to double your business in 2019? Probably not many, right? Probably not a ton. That even if you got a fraction of those 100, if they were the large clients, you would actually get a massive revenue boost in 2019. So here's my offer to you. Work with us doing XABM to find, reach, engage, and close the accounts. Here's what I'm asking. At the beginning, I said, hey, look, if I convince you that ABM is the right strategy for you, just fill out the form and give me a call. Right? Let's talk about it. Let's talk about your company. I want to understand your company and where the problems are. And so now go ahead and I hope I convinced you. I've done my best, right? Because this is something I believe in and I hope you're getting this, right? Are you getting it? Like how powerful this tool can be. Instead of just casting a net out there, we go after the people who can actually show massive revenue. So here's what I ask of you. Fill out the form by clicking on Try XABM, right? There's buttons all over this page. Click on it. It'll pop up a form. Please fill it out. Let's talk, right? I want to talk to you about XABM and how it can influence your company. So please stop doing inefficient marketing. Stop wasting money on ads that aren't working. Stop dumping your marketing money down the drain and instead focus on reaching the right people who can help you make those quantum jumps in revenue. And we are transitioning many of our customers over to this type of a plan. So here's my promise. Current customers will always come first, which means that there's super limited bandwidth within the organization, meaning we can only take on one, maybe two of these clients right now, and then we're going to have to hire more people. We're going to have to scale. Right? But if you fit in this market, if you have 100 clients, that Dream 100 that you know would make a massive difference in your business, reach out to us. Please reach out now because our bandwidth is extremely limited. And once we're full, like I care about serving my clients well. I'm not just going to keep taking on work. It might be 3 to 6 months by the time we hire and train and get everybody we need to scale this. So please, if this makes sense for you in your business, if you have that Dream 100 that you want to reach, fill out the form, click on Try XABM, have a conversation with me. That's all I'm asking. Have a conversation. We'll see if you're a good fit. And from there, we'll move forward. Anyways, my name is Tyler. I hope I showed you the value of XABM. Please fill out the form, have a conversation with me, and we'll talk soon.